The date is July 1st, 2023. We're in Woodford, California, starting our day around the Tehachapi area near Tehachapi Loop and the city of Tehachapi, California on BNSF's Mojave subdivision. The first train of the day was this high-priority westbound BNSF stack train. The Mojave subdivision connects Bakersfield with Barstow in the Southern California region and goes through a lot of very hot desert locations such as Tehachapi. Today's highs were well into the 100s. My day in Tehachapi would be the first of a 3-day rail fanning bender in the Southern California area. Woodford is a few miles west of the Tehachapi Loop, right next to the very small town of Keene, California. Sometimes the mornings tend to start slow on the railroads. Today was one of those days. I took advantage of the slow start and went to the Tehachapi Depot Museum, where I heard a train horn and ran out the back door to catch this BNSF eastbound train headed by the Depot Museum. The Depot Museum is small, but features some really well put together exhibits about the area's history and the history of the Mojave subdivision. Note the foreign power surprise at the very end of the train. Ferromex is the Mexican National Freight Railroad and makes common appearances on BNSF, especially in the Southern California region where the two railroads interchange. The Tehachapi Road Museum featured a number of exhibits about the local railroad history. One of my favorites was an exhibit about the tank train that ran on the Southern Pacific over the Donner Pass. There's a lot of exhibits about the local area and BNSF's Mojave subdivision and railroads before it. The museum staff was really friendly, and the museum is free. Definitely worth a visit if you're in the area. The signals around the railroad can definitely tell you when a train is approaching. I saw the signals clear up, and I knew that that meant that a westbound BNSF train was going to come through Tehachapi, so I found the first open area that I could and set up. This was the start of a wave of a few trains that were coming through Tehachapi, so I stayed in this location for those trains as they came within about 5 minutes of each other. Tehachapi is a small town with a population of about 14,000 residents and a small main street. Tehachapi is a pretty well-known rail fanning hotspot, seeing about 40 to 60 trains per day and being known for the Tehachapi Loop, which we will visit later. About 10 minutes after the first train, the signals clear up again for a westbound BNSF to meet an eastbound BNSF at the same location. Most of the line is double-tracked. This allows for full-speed train meets such as this one, where both trains don't have to stop or slow down. This is a huge advantage for such a busy main line on the BNSF. These two trains are very similar to the trains that we've been seeing through all of my Southern California videos. These are both high priority intermodals. We know this from the FedEx containers on the rear train and the JB Hunt containers on the front train. Most of these intermodal trains carry containers from overseas. Ports such as San Francisco, Oakland, and Long Beach bring in containers for the BNSF and Union Pacific to take east. The last train in this location, a westbound BNSF manifest, comes with a few surprises. The Norfolk Southern engine is from the East Coast, while the Canadian Pacific engine runs in Canada. Foreign power locomotives are complicating. Foreign locomotives can end up on the railroad for a number of reasons, including maintenance, power shortages, and interchange trains. foreign locomotive needs service, that locomotive is typically taken to the shops of the host railroad. Foreign locomotives accumulate running hours, which are typically exchanged for running hours on the other railroad. The last train of the day comes on the Tehachapi Loop. This loop was built to handle the steep grades west of Tehachapi. This BNSF train will pass over the tracks before looping and passing under itself. The property in the middle and surrounding this loop is all private property and belongs to a ranch. The city of Tehachapi, as well as the Depot Museum, have built a viewing platform to allow visitors to watch trains go over the loop. Construction on the loop began in 1874, with the loop opening in 1878. This property originally belonged to the Southern Pacific Railroad, and then became part of the Union Pacific Railroad in 1996 when the railroads merged. BNSF trains operate on this trackage using a trackage rights agreement. All the trains we saw today were BNSF trains. It seems to be that BNSF mostly uses the track, although in previous visits I have seen Union Pacific trains use this as well. An interesting fact I found about the loop while doing research is that there's actually a ban against passenger trains on the loop. This means that Amtrak's San Joaquin service has to stop at Bakersfield and operate motor coach throughway connections to the city of Los Angeles. Union Pacific does allow one exception. If the route for the coast Starlight, which follows the coast to California, is closed, that train may operate along the loop. This was the last train of my time in Tehachapi. I'd drive by the city of Mojave and see the Mojave Airport, where there's a few airplanes that are decommissioned or in long-term storage. I'd also see one more train from the window of the car. My next rail fanning day, just the day after, was extremely eventful, catching the Pacific Harbor Belt Railroad in Long Beach. Be sure to check out that video, but for now, thanks for watching.